Hello viewers, this is going to be a tough video to make. As you can see from the title, things aren't looking rosy at the moment for the channel. I have to tell you that we have made the decision to get out of Ramacro. We can't afford to rent premises anymore, rent a studio. It would be the easiest thing in the world to just say, hey, we're moving out of Ramacro, but don't worry, we're moving somewhere better and all that kind of thing. But I always try to be honest with you. We're moving out because we have to. We are scaling down production at the Lloyd Evans channel. Now, is the Lloyd Evans channel under threat? Is it going to disappear? Obviously not. Even in a worst case scenario where something happens to me, you know, the channel's still going to be up, the videos are still going to be there for people to watch. What's really sad for me though is that over a long period I've been working on this channel and I've built something very beautiful, I like to think, in terms of not just the content but the people. I have an amazing team working with me. I have Tibor, I have Diana working with me, and only really with that team and with the support of patrons and now YouTube members and with the equipment we've been able to buy because of their support are we able to produce not just the content that we're making, but the frequency of content, so that we're putting out a video at the moment sort of every day, sometimes 2 videos per day if you count the shorts. So that frequency of content is completely dependent upon our patrons and our YouTube members. And a couple of months ago, I let my patrons know and my YouTube channel members know that we were in trouble, because on a month-by-month basis, it's not just that we're getting by hand to mouth when it comes to paying the salaries and paying the rent for the office and the insurance for the equipment, all of the overheads and that kind of thing. It's not just about getting by hand to mouth. We're actually running at a deficit. So we're running at a deficit currently of somewhere between 5 to 750 euros per month. And so I put out a call for help 2 months ago, and the patrons and YouTube channel members very, very kindly responded and helped to plug the gap so that we could carry on going for a bit. But of course, the problem with appealing to my patrons is that they're the ones that are already giving, you know? They're the ones who are already giving so much to make the channel work. When I put that video out, most of you who just watch the channel and enjoy it won't have known anything about it. So I guess what I'm saying is, since we had all of the turmoil last year with the defamation campaign, the channel has struggled. We've come back to a degree. I like to think we've done an amazing job in keeping things running as long as we possibly can. That's been due to a large extent to us operating very frugally when times were good, before the defamation campaign. Incidentally, the defamation campaign is still very much ongoing. My lawyers are still on top of it. It's just that the Croatian legal system, I've learned, is glacially slow, and it's probably going to be years before I see any kind of justice for what was done to me and my family. The defamation campaign was and is a failure. It was a really cruel, sadistic way of attacking my reputation, and it had the predictable effect of drastically reducing the number of patrons who support my work, because they came to believe that I'm someone I'm not and that I'm somehow taking advantage of them. We dropped by hundreds of patrons, And what you need to understand is that when I started working with Tibor, it was because we had enough patrons to justify hiring someone. We actually had 620 patrons at the point when Tibor joined us. We lost more than half of our patrons as a result of the campaign. So at one point we were at over 800 patrons, and then we fell to 300-400 patrons. As of right now, when you add together the patrons and the YouTube channel members, we are on 432. So that's nearly 200 patrons less than, or YouTube channel members less than we had when we reached the point where we were like, you know, we can hire Tibor, we can hire a professional to edit the content. I can remember telling Tibor, when we drop below 500, things are bad. And the truth is we've been operating at less than 500 combined patrons and YouTube channel members for months now. So the fact that we've been able to carry on this long is, I guess you could say, a miracle. It's not been easy, and it's largely been due to people behind the scenes seeing the problem and stepping in to intervene. It's because of them that we've been able to stay on air and carry on. But ultimately, fundamentally, that's the problem. We don't have quite enough patrons. We need to get from 430 as it is now to at least 500, and preferably for this to be viable and for us to be putting money away for a rainy day, we need to get back to that 620 figure. And that's really the help that we need. That's the way in which the audience can really step up and help us. We managed to rally, we managed to keep going to this point, and we're now at the stage where the money just doesn't add up and we're having to scale things back. So I am going to move my studio or my filming space to essentially my bedroom, which is, you all know as the attic. That was where I was filming before we moved to Ramakro. Our landlord at Ramakro has been very, very understanding, and I'm hoping that he won't cause us any problems with demanding too much money and that kind of thing. But we're going to move everything back to essentially my apartment. My bedroom is where I'm going to be filming. And we're going to do what we can to continue with Tibor and with Diana, essentially with the company, with the nucleus of the company, irrespective of whether we actually have a premises or not. And we'll see how long we can do that. But I'm not going to lie to you, things aren't looking great. And it could be that I have to dissolve my company. It could be that I have to let Tibor go, let Diana go, and just be doing it by myself. And that would involve, because I know I would no longer have Tibor and I would be editing the videos myself, I would probably go down to like 2 or 3 videos per month, which I think would be something of a tragedy, considering what we're doing now and the amount of content we're able to put out. The way I view it is, every single video that we make has a potential to reach someone. Because if we're just doing 2 or 3 videos per month, great. If that's all we can do, fine. But you never know what particular video is going to appeal to a particular person at a particular point in their lives. So it would be tragic for me if we do need to go to that kind of Helm's Deep position. I guess we're already at Helm's Deep now that we've lost Ramakro, but if we have to go to that kind of final position of me letting Tibor go and Diana go and just doing it by myself, I mean, if that's what I have to do, that's what I have to do. I don't take anything for granted. If, however, you enjoy my channel and you feel like you can do something to help, there's the join button for you to maybe think about being a YouTube channel member. There'll be a link to the Patreon in the description, obviously. But I don't expect anything. I really don't expect anything at this point in my life. Nothing is guaranteed. We're all getting by from day to day. There are no promises about anything. So whatever happens, happens. I'm basically leaving it in your hands as to what happens next. If I have to go down to 2-3 videos per month, so be it. But I didn't want to just carry on, just change locations, and for you to all just assume that everything's fine, because it isn't. I'm not the sort of man who is too proud to admit when things aren't going right. So I can already see people jumping up and down saying, he's begging, he's begging. If you want to interpret it that way, I'm not going to stop you. Nothing I can say can stop you from having that position. But I honestly, it's not that I don't care, it's just that I honestly have the philosophy that whatever happens, happens. This channel will be around whatever happens. The people who set out to destroy me and destroy my work will always fail so long as the channel is around and so long as I still have a voice. And whatever happens, I will always, to my dying breath, have a voice and use it. It's literally just the frequency of content and the quality of content that's at stake at this point. Because there's no way I can do this volume of videos to this quality without Tibor and without the team that I have around me. So I guess I'm leaving it in your hands. I wish I had something a bit more positive to talk about, but this is reality, isn't it? Not everything can be positive. I'll leave it with you, and I will update you in due course as to whether things improve or whether things are as bad as I suspect them to be. But until then, please do consider subscribing or even joining the channel, and thank you so much for watching.